Hello and welcome to everybody who's tuned into another episode of Money and Me. It's been a long time since we had our last episode. We have been keeping very busy, just like the crypto market. And today we have a really fun, a really interesting gentleman. He is the co-founder and the CEO of SuperWorld. If you know about it, then you know how interesting this discussion is going to be. And if you don't know about it, then you're in for a treat. So please welcome our guest for today's show, Hrish.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on and excited to talk to your crowd, your fans and followers. Excited to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you, Rish. Can't believe how excited I've been for the interview. So, just for some research purposes, I went back, looked at some of your old stuff, went to the website, I checked out what you guys are doing, and it's phenomenal. So I just want to make a statement here. So we live in a world, but you guys are legit creating a super world. So maybe you can fill us around more about this. So from what I understand, one of the biggest primary functions of Superworld is virtual real estate, right?
That's right. That's right.
So tell us about it. Just it's mind blowing. So tell us exactly how you guys came around this concept and how big is this going to be in the future?
Yes. So I'll give you a quick kind of intro into how we started SuperWorld. That's always a question that people ask. Give you a sense for my background and how we came about the idea of starting SuperWorld, and then I can go into kind of what the big vision of SuperWorld is and what we're working on. So in terms of my background, I'm actually from India. I was born in Mumbai, grew up in the United States, and have been living very globally. I started off my career in consulting, investment banking on Wall Street. I was at HSBC and UBS investment bank in New York, got into venture capital, investing in New York across tech and biotech. I started a couple of venture capital funds, one in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine, backed by a big investor out there named Victor Pinchuk. He's the guy who backs Yuri Milner at DST, if you're familiar with that fund. He backed me in doing a VC fund. And then actually after that was early team member at a company called TopTal, which is a talent marketplace backed by Andreessen Horowitz, which is now a unicorn company. So learned a lot about scaling and growing. I was the first biz dev early employee there. So really great experience for me. And then 5 years ago, I started Rogue Initiative Studios, which is a film, television, gaming, and virtual reality studio in Hollywood. My co-founder produced Call of Duty, Modern Warfare series, and Ghosts. And my production partner is Michael Bay, the action director, who's known for Transformers, The Island, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor. So at Rogue Initiative, we do franchises that go across feature film, television, gaming, virtual reality, all the way to amusement park rides and toys. And Rogue Initiative is backed by all the top AR, VR venture capital funds in Silicon Valley and globally. So I come from the AR, VR industry, spent a lot of time there. And what happened was Pokemon Go came out about 5 years ago and became this worldwide sensation, as almost anyone in the world knows. A lot of people don't know, but it was the fastest company in history to hit $1 billion in revenue. And a lot of other people don't know that Niantic, which is the name of the company, had one of their best years ever this year. So they've been growing and doing extremely well. And back then, we thought to ourselves, you know what? If we can't build the next Pokemon Go, what if we could build a world? What if we could build a place where the next 1,000 Pokemon Go's gets built on top of it? And that was the vision for SuperWorld. And I co-founded SuperWorld with my co-founder. His name is Max Woon. Max's background is Max co-founded Xfire and sold it to Viacom, but he's also done Fizzle, Sliver, Skit, and Toonstar, all venture-backed companies. And Sliver and Toonstar are also both in the immersive space. And then previously he worked with Stephen Hawking at Cambridge in his department. So super smart guy. And what we thought is let's build a world. So if I come to Mumbai, London, Paris, Beijing, Tokyo, anywhere in the world, you could say, Hrish, check out my world. And I could walk around and you've left me things. You've left a hologram of yourself somewhere, fully interactive. I can talk to you. You've left photos and videos in different places. You've left NFTs all over the world that I can buy and discover, and I can also sell my own. But every one of these worlds is a filter on top of the real world. There could be an infinite number of filters. So any location in space could have an infinite number of items depending on what filter you're looking at. So the first part of the SuperWorld analogy is Pokemon Go. which is an analogy for adding digital information to the real world. The second part of the SuperWorld analogy is Foursquare, which is an analogy for data. On the data side, we believe in permission use of data, data sovereignty, data integrity. I have 2 kids, and the thing I want to do is I want to build a world that enhances their real life. I don't want them to be sucked into a virtual world. That's what makes us different, right? I'm a humanist. I'm into real world interaction. So SuperWorld's all about the real world. And so what does that mean? What we want to do at SuperWorld is enhance people's lives and enhance the real world. So you earn crypto when you use SuperWorld. We also benefit the real world. So every time you plant a tree, anytime you buy a plot of land in SuperWorld this month, we'll plant 10 trees in the real world, right? So we're doing things to improve the real world. As an example of that, last week we were helping to clean up the water in Flint, Michigan, using NFTs and virtual land. And so SuperWorld, our why at SuperWorld is how do we build a better world and improve people's lives? And then the third part of SuperWorld, which is what you asked about, is virtual land. We've divided the surface of the earth into 64 billion plots of virtual land. Each plot covers about a city block of land on top of the real world. And so you can buy your favorite places on earth. And if you buy those places, you're buying NFTs, so you could reprice them immediately to whatever you want. But if you own them, you get a share of the economics that happen there. Advertising, e-commerce, digital commerce, data, analytics, gaming, anything that results in revenue. And then on top of that, we're building applications. We have a mobile application, which is an open beta that allows you to create, discover, and monetize anything anywhere. Simply, it means you can add files to any part of the world, and I can discover those files from anywhere. So you could add something in Mumbai, and I could click on it. It'll appear in front of me in augmented reality in Los Angeles. Or vice versa. I can add something on the beach in Los Angeles and you could view it wherever you are, or you can make me go to places. And then we've launched an NFT marketplace that allows anyone to create digital assets out of any file type. And then we're moving into tokenization and we're moving into DeFi. So it's a whole completely, new world mapped on top of the real world, and the O2O opportunities, online to offline, offline to online, are huge.
So I have a question, Hrish. So while you were telling me about all of this, I could not help but connect it to, old age science fiction writers, how they used to talk about simulations, how there is a world, but there is a world within a world. So are you planning on integrating AR and VR into SuperWorld? Like, is it something that's already happened, or is it something you guys are planning on, introducing?
Yes, it's already happened. So AR, VR is a big part of SuperWorld. So at SuperWorld, we're leveraging AR, VR, blockchain, and AI technology. And in our mobile application, as well as in our map, you can already see augmented reality content being added. And so you can add any file type, whether it's a photo, you can write a message somewhere, you can put a hologram somewhere. We have a very famous digital artist named Vesa, who created a whole 3D museum in Egypt that you can walk into and go into his museum and buy NFTs, right? So the amount of things that you can create and put them into AR is limitless.
Right. So let's say that I go to Mumbai and I leave something on Marine Drive. So you're telling me that 2 days later, you can come by and actually see it in SuperWorld.
You can see it anytime. That's right. And you can control that content. So you could make it, first of all, interactive. You could make that content only for me. You could make it only for your friends. You could make it for the public. So you have a lot of flexibility with what that content is. You can create an NFT and put it there, and I could buy it. You could, again, create a game, literally anything, anywhere.
Right. So I recently read a press release which stated that SuperWorld raised an undisclosed funding from Outlier Ventures and Outlier Ventures base camps. I was wondering if you could tell us about it. Where is this? What are you planning with it?
Sure. So, we've been really fortunate that we've, have a number of investors and partners that are very excited about our mission. We've been, very excited about building a world that empowers people and enhances people's lives and enhances humanity, as I said, and leveraging these technologies. And we're very excited that Outlier Ventures, Draper Going Home, Tim Draper is involved in SuperWorld. We have, Bob Metcalf, who's the founder of Ethernet, the creator of Metcalf's Law. We have Stephen Wolfram as a partner, and we're partnered with Wolfram Blockchain Labs. We have SOSV, which is one of the most active investors in the world, very active in Asia and New York, and very globally involved in our investment group as well, along with Redbeard Ventures. We have a number of investment partners worldwide. We're raising more capital right now. And very excited about bringing together the right partners to understand kind of the long-term vision. Speaking about that, I think what we are very excited about vis-a-vis the Outlier partnership is we're moving into tokenization in Q4 of this year. And we're working on that right now. And they've been extremely helpful as we strategize with the right partners about bringing those partners into the fold here, into SuperWorld, as well as our token design and strategy to empower the ecosystem that we're building. I think that there's a lot of things that we're doing at SuperWorld that have some proxies out there in terms of virtual worlds. I think you've seen Axie Infinity's success and Decentraland and others. And again, we're very open as a world, and we see ourselves as the gateway to the metaverse, because we get a lot of customers that are very new to crypto, that are very new to these technologies, but they're very excited about them because they have a real relevance in their lives, because they know places in the real world. They know Marine Drive in Mumbai, and they can buy that place. They can buy places they love. And so they come to us with a real thirst to get more involved in crypto. And what's great about this is with the Outlier partnership and SOSB and others, we can leverage their portfolio and the investor relationships we have to provide our customers with a way to get further into these other brands out there in the market, like Sandbox and other virtual worlds that are doing some really amazing things. Because at SuperWorld, we want to kind of interface with people's reality. And that's what's interesting, is there's a lot of virtual worlds that they're very niche communities, but we want to be able to be very mainstream. We're kind of the Coinbase of virtual worlds, is a lot of people say.
So you're like a master ecosystem on which other applications and other niche worlds can coexist. Am I right in interpreting that? Is that how you guys are planning it?
That's right. Yes. We're an open platform. We'll enable other virtual worlds to build on top of SuperWorld. We already have partnerships with other NFT platforms that are well known through our portfolio relationships, as well as our investor partner relationships. And you'll see those announcements coming soon. You can already put NFTs from other NFT marketplaces into augmented reality, into SuperWorld. So that's already happening. People are selling NFTs, regardless of where they make them, into SuperWorld. And so what we want to do is really, we're very customer obsessed. We want to figure out exactly what our customers want to do, and then we'll build that out to do it. To give you an example of that, the guy who did the Travis Scott concert in Fortnite that had 35 million visitors, he's part of SuperWorld. He's helping to, he's working on our mobile app now, and we're building that application to fit exactly the types of things that you're seeing that are happening on a very large scale in other centralized worlds. We're going to make those things happen in SuperWorld.
Right. My next question, it's between SuperWorld and a completely different industry, but which, like you said, you have ties with. I want to know your inputs about how blockchain is entering into the gaming industry and what sort of changes we can expect. Because as a gamer myself, I've always looked forward to playing a VR game, being completely immersed into it. And as the technology is growing, it's already started. The VR wave is already here. Now, I want to understand from you is how soon can we see it getting mainstream? When can I see the kid next block completely immersed in his VR headset playing a game and he just can't have enough of it?
Yeah, I think that is happening in VR in the last couple of years with the launch of the Quest. Finally, people are finding a price point that, the typical parent is acquiring a VR headset for their child. And more people are acquiring headsets for themselves for entertainment, to watch movies, to now start doing work and socializing. And I think that price point will go even further down from where it's at. As well as, on the hardware side, as it comes to mobile technology, we're seeing large investments from Apple and Google and Facebook and Niantic and others on the software side, as well as on the hardware side, like Snap getting into as well, deep into the hardware side there in AR. So as you're seeing all these investments take place, I think what you're going to find is that the headsets are going to become XR headsets. And you're already seeing that with Oculus Quest. They have a pass-through feature, and they're now allowing developers to build onto pass-through. So you're going to see VR as well as you're going to see AR through pass-through on the Quest. And soon the next device, you're going to see AR with VR functionality. And so when we have, true XR devices, which are coming very soon, I'd say in the next year or two, you're gonna see people in their daily lives utilize a headset that's going to allow them to do AR, as well as allow them to go into full VR, virtual reality mode, and play with their friends. And when that happens, you're going to see daily use of headsets. At which point I think you're going to see mass adoption pretty quickly, and SuperWorld is going to have a lot of content out there to see it.
Exactly. I mean, when you were talking about SuperWorld, that was the only thing that came in my head. This is big, Rich. This is huge. And the matter of fact is, it's happened so quickly over the years that it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot of opportunities as these technologies come together, and blockchain technology is also with NFT is really spurring the creator side of this ecosystem as well, which is very exciting.
Right. My next question to you is from a layman point of view, right? So one of our listeners, they hear this interview and they really like it. They also want to get a property in SuperWorld. So can you
Yeah.
just briefly give us a description of how somebody new to this can enter and get a piece of the land?
Yes, so it's pretty easy. If you are excited about our vision at SuperWorld, if you understand kind of the big opportunity here, the O2O opportunity, and you want to get involved and become a key stakeholder in SuperWorld, all you need to do is Google SuperWorld or come to superworldapp.com. There's a button that says Get Started or Enter SuperWorld on our website. Go to the map. You need to connect your wallet, MetaMask wallet, or there's a variety of wallets on offer there. And then you just need some Ether in your wallet. Each property is 0.1 Ether. You can look anywhere in the world, find your favorite spots, find historical places. Some people like sports stadiums. Some people like, city centers. There's all kinds of places. What's beautiful about it is everyone has a special place, regardless of where they grew up in the world. And so you can find your special places, you buy them in Ether, and it's an NFT, so you can reprice it to whatever you want. And then as you own those places, again, you're a key stakeholder and you get a share of those economics that happen
there. Right. Hrish, now that we are reaching the end of the interview, I'm going to ask you the deeper questions, the questions that I want to know from you. I want to know from you is you've been to so many companies, you've worked in different places, you've met a lot of incredible people. Which point in your career did this concept and idea of SuperWorld emerge? Is this something that maybe you have been wanting to do from a very long time, create your own virtual world, or was it a conversation that led to the creation? What was it?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and I live nomadically globally. I travel a lot. I think at the core, I've always been very interested and motivated in empowering people, giving people the freedom to create, the freedom to see the world, the freedom to do literally anything that they want to do, educate themselves, entertain themselves. I've always been interested in empowerment and freedom for people. So that's been a very core tenet of mine. Again, my background previous to this was I started a Hollywood studio with Michael Bay and the founder of the creator of Call of Duty. And so I come from the content creation space at the highest levels in Hollywood. And so I understood kind of, how that works. How do you create cross-platform content that goes across linear, feature film, television, gaming? And so as you think of, both of those things, and then seeing the success of Pokemon Go and being able to do an overlay on top of the real world, really kind of putting those pieces together was really the formation of SuperWorld. Was, how do we kind of enable creators, user-generated content, cross-platform, create professional creators in Hollywood and other places, Bollywood come on board, help create content? How do you get influencers on board? And then how do you empower anyone to do the same, create their own world, to be able to access their own world, personalize the world? Are there enterprise opportunities there? Nitin Gower, who runs digital assets at IBM, is a member of the team at SuperWorld. So we're looking at a lot of things, consumer all the way to enterprise, and really comes down to giving people the freedom to create, giving people the freedom to earn money when they play or work in SuperWorld, and again, allowing people the access. And also, the thing that, again, is the thing that really drives me is how do we leverage all these technologies to improve humanity, right? How do we build a world that actually gamifies improving the real world? I think that's so exciting for me.
For me personally, I feel a lot of people cannot yet accept blockchain or the virtual world because they feel it's very disengaged from reality. But like you said, I believe the whole point of even having a virtual world is to somehow improve the real world that exists around us. Because if the real world goes off, for example, there's so much discussion about climate change recently. There's talk about renewable energy. Well, it's good to see people coming up realizing that we've only got one planet and we can't escape it no matter what we do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Hrish, I wanted to ask you this. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, the concept of Superworld it's revolutionary. It's pretty big. So what were some of the challenges that you and your partners faced when you were going around, maybe getting investments, getting people on board? What was your pitch like? How would you convince them that Superworld is the big next thing?
I think that for any idea, regardless of its nature, you really have to be very motivated and passionate about the idea in and of itself. It's got to be an obsession. It's got to be a passion. And that really comes from the founders. And I think with SuperWorld, we started 4 years ago, long before the word NFT and metaverse was mainstream. I can't even believe how cool the word NFT is now. Back when we started, doing NFTs, 3.5 years ago, it was, only CryptoKitties and a few others out there that we could point to. And so, I think that the opportunity to be able to go out there and evangelize and to educate not only investors, but our user community about the potential of the opportunity and the technologies here is in and of itself a journey where you learn about what do customers want, what are the gaps in knowledge that they face to really understand the depth of an idea. And as you go out there and you pitch it, you understand and you really get to know your customer. And going through crypto winter as an example and doing that, it gives you time to build. It gives you time to learn. And so we've gotten, I think what we've gotten is a real depth of understanding of the market, of what our customers, our super citizens want, what they like. I think we've gotten, investors and super citizens and users that understand that vision for a very long term, right? And so I think going through that process of taking a big idea, distilling it, going through the process of pitching it to investors, pitching it to your customers, understanding what that product market fit is a very important part of the process of making a big idea into a reality, because it doesn't just, it's not just an immediate thing. It literally is kind of an iterative process of, you know, creating, it's a very kind of lean startup type of model. And that's how we continue to build, right? I mean, every week, every couple of weeks, we have new products out to the market, we change, we improve, we talk to our customers. And so again, I think like anything else, I think that's the same process you have to use. You have to learn from your investors, you have to learn from the feedback, iterate, keep building.
Right. Very insightful, Hrish. Thank you so much for coming on our show and talking about SuperWorld. I mean, this was really interesting, and I'm sure our listeners are going to love watching our interview as well. So before we close it off, I want you to tell us what the future of SuperWorld looks like. I mean, it's already been more than 4 years, like you said. So what else are you guys interested in getting into? What else can users expect out of SuperWorld?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm really excited about our move into tokenization in Q4 of this year, our move into decentralized finance. I think the idea here is that SuperWorld is, you know, in and of itself, our platform is composed of NFTs, right? So our platform is built on NFTs. We're much bigger than just NFTs. We're a world where you can create, discover, and monetize anything. And we're also allowing and enabling our users to create their own digital assets and create other ways of monetization. And the exciting part of that is that all leads into decentralized finance. And so that is going to be a very exciting next step for us, is enabling our creators, our community, to involved in financial transactions, to be able to create more and more assets, to be able to create autonomy for themselves economically, and to be active in our community and be able to thrive. And that is what I'm really excited about. And again, you know, we're already showing this, and, you know, we demonstrated it with the Flint water thing. We're doing reforestation in the Amazon. We're helping with climate change. I'm really excited about how we keep showing how activity in SuperWorld can benefit humanity and help us accelerate positivity in the real world. So that's what I'm excited about. And I think decentralized finance will also have a big part of that.
Definitely. Well, you heard the gentleman. He has been full of energy in this interview, and I can't thank him enough for coming here and sharing your views. Insights into the future you gave are very interesting, and I personally would love to see SuperWorld become the giant that at least I feel it's definitely going to be. Please go to superworldapp.com to check out their features and maybe get a plot of land. So thank you, Hrish. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to future conversations and really appreciate your audience, and looking forward. And if you, by the way, if anyone has any questions, I'm always available, CEO@superworldapp.com. You have ideas, questions, you want to join our movement to build a better world, please write me directly.